What is up, guys? Happy Friday. It is January 14th and it's 7:50 a.m. So, starting off today with the news, we got PayPal is exploring its own stablecoin that might be called PayPal coin, and it's backed by the US dollar. Just kind of like how we have the stablecoin USDT, the Tether, and the USDC coin, PayPal is looking to create their own stablecoin backed by the US dollar as well. So all these payment transfer companies may start to create their own coins and these stable coins. So with that, all these companies, corporations, banks, governments create their own stable coins. And there still is that market opportunity for there to be a neutral bridge asset to seamlessly transfer value between these stable coins. And there needs to be a neutral bridge asset to do that, where it's the most liquid and convert anything into anything. And that's where we talk about XRP potentially taking that role. So shout out to Colleen for last night for the first nightcap. Little round of applause right there. She killed it. And yeah, so that is what we talked about and what she talked about. Talked about potentially XRP becoming a world reserve currency in the next 5 to 10 years because it's the most liquid asset. And as more people start to enter the network, the more and more deeper and liquid it gets. Also, it can be converted and used as a neutral bridge asset, where neutral just means that no central authority is over it. No central government owns it. It's theoretically a world currency. It's borderless. There's no borders to crypto, and there's no borders to XRP. And it's one of the fastest cryptos, and it was designed to be a bridge asset to bridge stable coins to each other or anything of tokenized value. So diving into it. So PayPal is exploring creating its own stablecoin as crypto business grows. So hidden code in the company's iPhone app shows that a potential PayPal coin would be backed by the US dollar. So people were digging into the PayPal app. There's ways to do it through GitHub, and they found that PayPal may be working on a stablecoin backed by the US dollar. So that's interesting. Then we have the Global CBDC Challenge. So right here we have from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, we have the Global Central Bank Digital Currency Challenge 2021 report. It was just released January 7, 2022. And the Global CBDC Challenge, organized by the Monetary Authority of Singapore in partnership with the IMF, the World Bank, ADB, UNCDF, and all these other organizations, seeks innovative retail CBDC solutions to enhance payment efficiencies and promote financial inclusion, all that same verbiage. This report provides a summary of the challenge through its various phases and includes highlights of the solution presented by the 15 finalists during the Singapore FinTech Festival 2021. So let's dive into the report real quick and let's type in a couple keywords, see if we can find anything. So I'm just going to go up here to edit and then find. It's a faster way of potentially finding anything because there's 71 pages in this document. So let's type Ripple. So nothing on Ripple. Let's look at Stellar. Nothing on that. What about Algo? Nothing there. We could do wholesale. So let's do wholesale. So Stellar Bit. That's so weird. I typed Stellar and that didn't even pop up. But we see Stellar Development Foundation right there. So that's very weird. Let's try that again. Stellar. That's weird, right? So I typed Stellar. It doesn't even go to find it. But as you saw, we saw Stellar right there. So, that's weird. But let's look into it then. So let's see. It talks about what a central bank digital currency is, just digital cash. And then you have to catalyze development of a set of technologies to enable issuance of retail central bank digital currency, we established a global challenge. So in partnership with the IMF, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, United Nations Capital Development Fund, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, the United Nations Development Program, and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, supported by Amazon Web Services, MasterCard, Pardiar, R3, and open source software foundations, Hyperledger and the Modulute Foundation, and managed by the API Exchange and Tribe Accelerator. So we know multiple names in here that are partnered with Ripple, but let's keep going. So here we have the Stellar Bit DCMS. So Stellar is going to be involved with creating the retail central bank digital currency. That will be the digital currency provided by the central banks that us as people will use. And then the wholesale central bank digital currencies, the underlying mechanism for that, which XRP helps facilitate that bridge currency process, will be used by the banks and institutions. So right here it talks about Settle. So we know that Settle is working with Swift Q1 to work on including digital assets within Swift systems. Then you have Valora. So Valora is CeeLo. So CeeLo, we could look at that. Valora, it's a mobile app, and it's made on CeeLo. So Valora is built on CeeLo, a carbon negative blockchain. It's so important, the carbon negative. You got to watch that deep dive about sustainable green finance. But a carbon negative blockchain that believes the world of crypto should include the whole world. You can unlock the financial. So it talks about financial inclusion. This is the Valora app, and it was built on CeeLo, and it was here in this global CBDC challenge report with all those big institutions. So we know CeeLo's in the game, and then we know Stellar's in the game. We know CeeLo's in the game. So right here we have Zilliqa and Ethereum. So they're involved. So right here we have off-ramp payment solution, Moduloop, and we know that Ripple is tied up with Moduloop. I showed you that in one of the deep dives the other day. So acknowledgement, it gives acknowledgements to the World Economic Forum, the Stellar Development Foundation, gives acknowledgement to Deloitte, that's a Ripple investor. We have Stellar right here. We have Citibank, we have Valora, so we know CeeLo's in the game. We have Consensus, we know that Ethereum's in the game. We saw Zilliqa, we know they're in the game. And we have a bunch of Ripple partners in here as well too. So look, the Hyperledger Foundation, that is why it's so important to understand which foundations and consortiums to look for. The Hyperledger Foundation, you have all these different Hyperledger solutions, and we know that Hyperledger Fabric and Aurora, Bisu, and then we know that Hyperledger Quilt is built using the Interledger protocol, which utilizes XRP, and then we know R3 is tied up with Ripple, and we know that R3 is a consortium of companies that we want to look out for. R3 has a consortium of companies that are using R3's Corda's platform, which utilizes Corda Settler, and within that, XRP is used and XDC is used. So we have this clown, the former US SEC chairman. Digital assets will change global financial infrastructure. So this guy was the one that filed the lawsuit on Ripple the day he was leaving office. And think about what Ripple's doing. They're creating a new financial system, or a new way of transferring value or money through blockchain technology and digital assets. And they're trying to change how the global financial infrastructure works and how payments and money is settled. And then you have this clown that goes and sues them on the last day of him being in office. So something's so fishy here, because there's all this action that's like kind of holding Ripple to a sword. But meanwhile, you have this verbiage that is in line with what Ripple is doing and what we've seen in the developments. So something fishy is going on, and something definitely is happening behind the scenes, because this is just crazy right there. And then we have breaking. So this is Republican leader and representative of California, 23rd district. He said breaking, inflation just hit 7%, the highest rate since 1982. So the trend isn't transitory, and it's all happening under, okay, we don't have to go into that. But yeah, so 7% inflation. So if you're not making more than 7% for the year on investments, then you're losing money. You're losing purchasing power. So that's what Colleen kind of went over in the video with the orange marmalade and all about that. So this is just crazy, and that's why we're investing. So we have U.S. lawmakers propose bill aimed at limiting Fed's ability to issue a central bank digital currency. So having the Fed require users to open accounts to access the benefits of a digital dollar would put it on an insidious path akin to Chinese digital authoritarianism. So this guy is introducing a bill prohibiting the Fed from issuing a central bank digital currency directly to individuals. Things are heating up. You can feel it. You can feel it. This is crazy. All this stuff that we've been talking about. And now you're having bills being drafted and put out, things that we were talking about months ago. It's very surreal. So let's keep going on here. Same guy said new digital currency legislation coming soon. Things are heating up. Then we have Fidelity. We see a second country buying Bitcoin in 2022. That was January 11, 2022. We were saying this back in September 2021. A second country will be buying Bitcoin in 2022, and I think we've already seen one. So let's keep going in, because I think further on into this, we've seen a second country officially start to buy Bitcoin. And now we have ARK Invest Director. Crypto assets will be worth $40 trillion by 2030. The end goal. If you can make it all the way through, and you hold it the whole time, and you're stacking the whole time, by 2030, it's going to be unreal how much profits you make if you're in the right cryptos. Because if the crypto asset market is worth $40 trillion by 2030, and right now we're currently say at 2.5 trillion, just imagine the price gains and the returns. So moving on, we have CBDCs, and this is from Ripple. CBDCs are the sovereign equivalent of private cryptocurrencies and digital assets that enhance payments, promote inclusion, encourage competition, and foster innovation. Our report outlines the future of central bank digital currencies and requirements for implementation. So they reposted that. And then, guys, things are heating up. Things are heating up. Jerome Powell says report on digital currencies ready to go. Ready to go. Like I said, the year 2022, regulations and central bank digital currencies. Just so much more confirmations every day. So Jerome Powell says the report is ready to go. Let's look at it. So the U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell today said that the government report on cryptocurrencies is expected to come out within the next few weeks. The next few weeks. Would you look at that? How quickly into 2022 that these things are unfolding. So however, answering questions from that, whatever. So Powell noted that the report was delayed due to other priorities. So the report really is ready to go, and I would expect we will drop it, I hate to say it again, in the coming weeks, but it really is in a situation where it's ready to go, he stressed. Adding the Fed digital dollar could coexist with private stablecoins. It was hard, and we didn't get it quite to where we needed to get it, but it's effectively there now, and I will tell you it's within weeks we will be publishing it. By the way, it's more going to be an exercise in asking questions and seeking input from the public rather than taking a lot of positions on various issues, although we do take some positions. The report is expected to focus on the outlook for a central bank digital currency, or a digital dollar, right there. Then we have a new paper from the Bank of Italy, looks at cross-currency settlement of instant payment in a multi-currency clearing and settlement mechanism. Look at all the keywords. What is Ripple's product, RippleNet? It is a multi-currency, cross-currency, instant payments and settlement clearing mechanism. That's what it is, utilizing XRP. And a new paper from the Bank of Italy looks at it, and let's see what they got to say. So right here, we have stating from the observed gap, mainly in terms of cost and speed between domestic and cross-border retail payments in Europe. This paper focuses on the opportunities that a multi-currency technical platform may offer in bridging this gap. What is XRP? A neutral bridge currency. So as a multi-currency platform for the settlement of instant payments and central bank money could support instant payment transactions across different currencies. Moving from a general overview of the recent developments in the market and the demand from public authorities to improve the efficiency of cross-border payments, the paper describes a three-layer model for the processing of cross-currency payments in a multi-currency clearing and settlement mechanism. Within this framework, different possible ways to handle the main elements of a cross-currency transaction, the determination of the applicable exchange rate for a given transaction, the way to apply the agreed exchange rate, and the settlement model are identified and described. A methodology for assessing and comparing the different models identified for the three processing layers is also provided. So I'm not going to dive all the way into this, but very interesting stuff. I'm sure there's stuff in there that we could find that kind of aligns with what we've been looking at. Then we have Fed Chair Jerome Powell says there's room for privately issued stablecoins to exist alongside a possible central bank digital currency. So we already went through that. And then we have Solana could become as big as Visa across the crypto universe. Bank of America says. Another thing that I've been saying along with the year of 2022 is central bank digital currency and regulations is that Solana and Avalanche are going to eat Ethereum's lunch this year. And now you have Bank of America confirming Solana, and I believe they confirmed Avalanche as well too earlier or later in 2021 around December. So very interesting. Then we have research on payment settlement mode in cross-border business trade based on blockchain technology, an investigation of Ripple XRP from the Vocational College of Finance and Trade in China. So we have China. So I made that video about Ripple and China's potential ties. Now we got some more proof. So now going further, the FDIC and FinCEN will soon be accepting applications for an upcoming tech sprint focused on tools for verifying digital identity. So interesting there. They're getting involved, digital identity. And then if you watch the green finance videos, sustainable finance, and what it is and why it's important, you have here from carbon neutral NFTs on the XRP ledger to central bank digital currencies and interoperability. The chief technology officer, Joel Katz, dives into the hot topics in today's crypto space. So over time, we will see the NFT market broaden. And by broaden, I believe the NFTs will be built on different platforms, a variety of different platforms, not mainly on Ethereum. And along with that, not just technically digital art or music. So NFTs can be real estate. It can be anything of value. You can tokenize it, put it on the blockchain. So I believe he's talking about that NFTs will be built on other platforms, as well as the aspects and kind of the depth of the NFTs that are being tokenized will expand further than what we've been seeing recently. Then right here, like I said, 2022, the year of CBDC, eyes open. We had CoinDesk January 12th say 2022 will be a big year on the CBDC front, he said, adding that all eyes will be on China's digital currency launch. Guys, I guess I'm from the future. I'd be calling it. I'm telling you. I'd be calling it. I'd be saying all this stuff. Then you see it come out in these mainstream articles months, weeks, sometimes days later. It's just crazy. So bipartisan leaders from the Senate and the House Agriculture Committees have issued a letter to the CFTC asking for guidance on digital assets, for asking for regulation, for clarity. All the stars are aligning. Iran to allow businesses to use Bitcoin for international settlements. Iran is going to accept Bitcoin as legal tender. I can call it. You can smell it. So the SEC versus Ripple expert discovery postponed for a month due to the Omicron variant. So the attorney that's been following along with this, he said that it's likely the case now, it was supposed to conclude by April, but because this got pushed back, we're likely going to see a conclusion around August or July. So the timeline's pushed back a bit, but with the lawsuit hanging over it, I still believe that I don't think that's going to hold it back. I think if the market moves, XRP is going to move with it, and a settlement or a wrap-up or conclusion of that case is just extra fuel on the fire. Then we have here, official crypto wallets to be integrated on Twitter according to Twitter's product marketing head. The adoption, we're going mainstream. Then we have the acting controller of currency says regulating stablecoin issuers like banks could boost innovation. More regulation talk. Then we have several FDIC-insured banks have united to put out a stablecoin. Look at all the narrative. So clear. Can the FDIC insure it to protect against losses of up to $250,000? That remains to be seen. So now you have several FDIC-insured banks uniting together and putting out their own stablecoin to stay competitive against crypto. Wow. And then we have the SEC Gov. Big news in the case. Big news in the Ripple case. The SEC must surrender an email with a draft of former director William Hinman's speech on whether Ethereum is a security to Ripple in an ongoing lawsuit the agency filed against the crypto startup, a judge ruled. So they must surrender. The judge ruled it. So if they don't want to surrender it because they're hiding something, they're going to come to an agreement on a settlement to avoid that being put out to light. Guys, the stars are aligning. You can smell it. We're so close. It's looking very well for Ripple against the SEC. And who knows, some stuff could really be uncovered about Ethereum through this, because we're looking at all this stuff and the SEC has started to backpedal and say, hey, no, never mind. We never said that Ethereum's not a security. And then you have this stuff that they have to give up to the judge and everything. So, yeah. So we have U.S. President Joe Biden will nominate Sarah Bloom Raskin as the U.S. Federal Reserve's powerful vice chair for supervision. That's good to note because the Federal Reserve with the central bank digital currency. So it's good to know who's going to be in play. Then we have Tesla now accepts Doge as a payment for its merch. Crazy, but I love it. Then we have Swift and List settle for digital asset operations pilot. And we know this. We went over that in a deep dive like a week ago. And then lastly, the Swiss Central Bank, Bank of International Settlements, and SIX complete test of wholesale central bank digital currency trial, labeling it operationally possible. It's like music to your ears. Music. The move marks a turning point a turning point. Love it. We're at that point, guys. We're at that point. The move marks a turning point in central bank digital currency infrastructure development, demonstrating to the rest of the world that such moves could prove useful to the traditional banking and financial sector. So Switzerland's central bank, the Bank of International Settlements, and the SIX stock exchange have successfully conducted interbank transfers using a wholesale central bank digital currency. All those buzzwords we love to hear. The effort also involved 5 prominent banks, including Citi, UBS, Goldman Sachs, can't even go into that, but Credit Suisse. So they had completed a joint experiment to integrate a wholesale central bank digital currency for interbank transactions. At this point, I'm sick and tired of pulling up the World Economic Forum Central Bank Digital Currency Policymaker Toolkit, where right in there it says that XRP was specifically designed for interbank wholesale cross-border transactions for settlement. Come on. I don't even want to pull it up anymore. We already know. So it also included those people, and the move marks a turning point in CBDC infrastructure development, demonstrating to the rest of the world that such use of a distributed ledger technology may yet prove useful to the traditional banking and financial sector. So then it dives into it more. It talks about issuing a wholesale CBDC on a tokenized platform and then linking the existing payment system to a digital ledger. We're here. We are here. So that is it, guys, for the daily news. And this was a lot. So a lot to take in. And I love it. I love the adoption going on. So I'm doing a market update. So I'll see you in that video.
I'ma keep the case clean, I won't shroud it in no love. Getting laced at the seams, turning powder into dust. I need space for my team, it's getting crowded in the club. Now I walk with a gun.